Sorry about that, guys. Thank you, guys, for being here with your boy GFC Garman on a Saturday evening. We all know that it's the end of the World Cup. Tomorrow is the last day, the big day. You know, I'm wearing my Brazil shirt for the last time. The notorious Stash. How you doing? First one in the building. You know, tomorrow is the big game. You know, France and Argentina. You all know, you know where it go. Tomorrow is a big game. We have a special guest coming on with us today, Pit Night. Mr. Pit Night. Yeah. Good evening, sir. How you doing? Pit Night.
Hey, no things.
Welcome, welcome, Mr. Pit Night. Welcome, welcome.
Yes, Gavin, respect.
All well?
Yes, all is well, all things considering.
Thank you for sharing the platform with me once
All things
again.
considering, yes, yes,
It's the end of the World Cup that we
yes,
all
my
love.
pleasure.
The notorious Tassie said hello, sir. Yeah. You know, it's a joy. It's a
Hello,
joy.
Tash.
It's a
Hello, Tash.
joy.
How are you doing?
Yeah. I
Yes.
don't know if it's my mic or yours, but it sounds a little bit low. Don't know if it's mine or yours. Yes, Mr. Pick Night.
I
So,
think that's how it
we're
will
gonna break
start.
down
I think
the
I'm good.
we're gonna break down the World Cup real quick and fast, as I know you're a busy man.
Yes.
Don't want to hold you up too long, but
Thank you.
we just want to discuss the World Cup a little bit. Then we'll move on to the final. What a tournament! What a tournament we got this time around. It's so sad that we have to wait the next 4 years to see something like this
Indeed.
again. Clearly, you hear me clearly?
Yeah, that's true. Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, yours was freezing up a little bit, and you're a little bit low.
Yes, yes. I think there's been some connectivity issues. I think they're doing some form of repairs in my community. So there's been some disruption since yesterday. But let's see if we can press on to see how
Yes,
much we
sir.
can get through today before the connectivity goes out. But as you rightly said, Gavan, the World Cup has been quite exciting. There's been a number of expected. But the good thing is we're still here to enjoy good football, and we have been enjoying the good football that has been on display. So let's see how it pans out tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Because I watched the third and fourth game, and it was it was a magnificent game. It was a game that it was worth to watch. Both team was going for it, and it was exciting. Just what I expect from Morocco, and Croatia. They both show everything in there, and that thumbs off the World Cup for us. It was really a joy of a game, and I really enjoyed it. Your mic is mute. If you can unmute yourself.
Yes, you're right. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to sit through the the third place playoff, but I'm hoping to catch a replay later on. But I did see the score. I was hoping that the Atlas Lions of Morocco would have been able to pull off third place, but that's been going this World Cup. Most of our predictions have gone awry, but that's why we love the game because the ball is round. You can't
Yeah,
make any prediction until the match is played. So that is what has been happening.
yeah, and well said, well said. You know, as I said, it's unfortunate that this World Cup ends tomorrow. I think I could take 2 more weeks of it because it was that great. You
It was.
know,
It was.
start of the World Cup, it was a whole bunch of animosity, surrounded. But I think the World Cup itself, the players and their coaches, all the country that participate, I think they deliver. In case of all the things
They
that was
did.
going around, I think they deliver.
They did. They did. And this World Cup, um, someone said on a different forum that the quality has not been good, and I totally disagree. I think this has been World Cup with the most quality we have seen in a long time, if not ever. Why I say that? You see, we've come to associate certain teams with quality, and because those teams did not make it, we can't say the World Cup has no quality. The reason that they did not make it is because of the quality, because those other weak teams, quote unquote weak teams, are no longer weak teams. We see that
Yeah.
even Argentina, they're about to contest the final, but they lost to Saudi Arabia. So we can't say that because these fancy teams are not getting the results that we expected means that the quality is not there. Actually, the opposite is true. It means that the gap between the top teams and the bottom teams is still closing and ever closing. And as we go forward with good football, you'll find more unfancied teams, teams like Morocco, teams like Ghana, teams like Senegal, teams like Japan. These teams, which we do not normally associate with football, are going to start to make their mark on world football. And that's a good thing.
And that's only good for the game because,
Only good
to
for
be
the game.
honest, I see Morocco got about 8 or 9 players that I know in January here coming. Some players even playing in Morocco. And I think those players going to look for some big contract because
Yes,
I think that those players going to get, because that team, every player play with their heart, and they have some skills and they got talent over there. I see
yes,
they bring on a number 18. No, sorry, it was a number 23. He's a young player. He started the game, and he's 18 years old, and that kid looked like he got potential. So for them to be saying that your Belgium and all your big teams that you normally look to see doesn't make it, that doesn't mean the World Cup wasn't a fantastic World Cup. I can say
exactly.
that I enjoy every second and every moment of it because this World Cup really delivered. I see
It
some
did.
players that no one expect, nobody know about, but now people are gonna know those names,
Exactly.
and that's something wonderful.
Yes, and that is what you need to have out of a big tournament. When coming into a big tournament, it's an opportunity for players to make their name. And there are players who've come into this tournament and indeed have made their names, and it only argues well for the sport itself. I also, in the same breath, I must say hats off to players like Lionel Messi, who's been doing it for decades, who still is there, Griezmann, these players who are still there on the world stage, even though they've been personally saying that most of these players are past their best, but they're still holding their own. They're still showing that they have quality. And it's good to see these established players do their thing along with the new players that are coming through. So the World Cup always manages to bring out new talent and also allow the old ones to still shine. So that's good.
Yeah, I was having a conversation on the last show that I did that this World Cup is set up for Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo could make it to the final. And it's unfortunate that we didn't see it because that would be something that the whole entire world will take a pause on that day just to
Mhm.
see the two greatest and to see, because this is their last dance, and it would have been wonderful to see if one of those legend who would have taken it home. That would have been great for the football in general, but you cannot take nothing away from France and Argentina because both teams show that they deserve to be there.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. So I want to segue into something quickly, Gavan. I'm not sure if you remember how the World Cup started back in 1990. This Argentina resurgence reminds me of Argentina back in 1990 when they started the World Cup with
Hold on, Italian 90, right?
Italia 90 when they lost to Cameroon 1-0 in the first match, and people were starting to write them off, but they managed to recover and make it all the way to the final, even though they would have eventually lost that final on penalties to Germany. But it is something that we would have noticed that this Argentina team, having lost that first round game against Saudi Arabia, and they were struggling in eventually the cream rises to the top, and they've been improving steadily going forward. And each game Argentina plays, they look better. Each game
Yeah.
Argentina plays, they look better. They look better each game, and let's see if they can, if that momentum can bring them through against France tomorrow.
Um, France have all their players back. I watched try to get the news. Uh, the notorious star said, "Yes, I agree. Some of these teams are really good." And by you to know, Pit Night, the notorious Stash is a big Liverpool fan as yourself. So you got a Liverpool fan in the comment section right there.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Welcome, Tash. You'll never walk. You'll
it's
never walk alone.
never walk alone. Yeah, and to be
And from
honest,
a perspective, from a
uh-huh.
Liverpool perspective, we have Ibrahim Konate on the French team. For his sake, I hope France takes it. Yes, for his sake. Yeah, so let's see what the French team will do tomorrow. My money is on them, but I probably shouldn't bet for them, considering that most of my bets have been busted so far this World Cup. So let's see. But it's going to be an interesting game to watch.
And trust me, I can't wait because I was telling a guy in the comment section the other night too that he said he's gonna cook some blue rice. So I think he's going for Argentina. So I have to let him know that if you say blue, you're talking about France too. So you have to clear up your statement. But
Exactly.
when you
Exactly.
look when you look into the upcoming the final, right? I see it's gonna be it's it's gonna be something that the end of it is either it's gonna bring peace in Paris or we're gonna bring divided in Paris.
Yes,
That's my
that tends to
opinion.
happen a lot. That tends to happen a lot with the French and a lot of these former colonial powers. Whenever these children of immigrants who are representing their quote unquote mother country, which is, we see that in more recently for the players of Caribbean descent and African descent who are playing for England, whenever there's a failure, they tend to get the blame. And there's a running joke in France that whenever these immigrant children, whenever they do something great, oh, beautiful Frenchman, whenever they do something not so good, they're African. That's it.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that that type of narrative is overcome soon, and people just recognize that when somebody's representing your flag, they're representing your flag because they identify with you and your culture. So there should not be a divide. So whatever the result is tomorrow in Paris, if the French team should win, just like they won 4 years ago, they should celebrate the achievement of French players and do not come with the divide of, oh, they were let down by African players because these African players didn't come through. Because these are the same African players who would have won them the trophy 4 years ago. So they should not go down that route.
Okay, well said. And another divide is more than one divide. Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe share the same dressing room too in France.
Yes.
So, and you know that Kylian Mbappe didn't want them to sign Messi because he claimed that Messi was gonna come and take the spotlight.
Yeah,
And
Kylian.
this year he didn't want to get rid of Neymar also out of the
Mhm.
dressing room. So how
Yeah,
that one gonna end up too?
well, Kylian Mbappe is a young player on the rise. His stock is rising. Is um, his allure in world football is rising, and he wants to get as much from it as possible. So he wants that team there in PSG to be surrounding him. He wants the team to be his team. So he's been threatening to leave if they do not accede to his requests over the years. Every year there probably is some rumor of him leaving. There's rumor of him leaving to come to Liverpool. They've been that on the cards for a number of years. But I think Mbappe is just playing some mind games with these players. I mean, he knows his ability, but I do not think that Mbappe thinks he has achieved anything um, along the same lines like what Messi have achieved. As much as Kylian Mbappe is skillful, he's still not the footballer in the same category as a Lionel Messi, and he needs to recognize that. And when he goes on the field tomorrow, his goal should be to upstage the more fancied Lionel Messi and walk away with the trophy. That should be his only focus. Because if he tries to play these man games against Messi, that probably will not end so well for him. He just needs to focus on football tomorrow, and at the end of 90 minutes, if he wins the trophy, then he can talk as much as he wants, but not before the game.
Yeah, because if he win tomorrow, the notorious Tash is going on. Come to Liverpool and banging.
But if France wins tomorrow and Mbappe would have won 2 World Cups before he turns 25, the
It's
only
gonna
other
be
player,
Pele records, our equal Pele record.
well, and also Ronaldo of Brazil. Ronaldo of Brazil won 2 World Cups. He won World Cup in 1994 when he was
Four.
17, and he won again 8 years later in 2002.
Yeah, he didn't
So
win it
he
back
would
to
have
back
won. He didn't win back because they lost the final to France in
to
'98.
France.
Yeah, but to win it back to back, it would be Pele and Mbappe. That's correct. But Mbappe would have the unenviable record of winning 2 World Cups before the age of 25. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be awesome, and that I think because that was 60 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what a lot of people don't really get with the stats with that one, because Pele record been falling this year, because Neymar already broke his goal scoring record.
Unfortunately, unfortunately,
Unfortunately, not
unfortunately
in
for
that
me,
way. I think
because
that
for
he
me,
should have broke it if they win the World Cup. I don't think
well,
he should have.
to be honest with you, records were made to be broken, and records in itself does not paint a picture of greatness. Because look in the French team, Olivier Giroud is France's top scorer.
Yeah,
Nobody, nobody in their right minds would think Olivier Giroud is in the same category as a Thierry Henry or a Zidane or a Yuri Jarkayev. You understand? These players have much more quality than Giroud. But just that Giroud has been a consummate professional. I don't want to knock him. This is not criticism to Giroud personally. This is just to recognize that Giroud is a professional. He does what he does well. And I've said before that because I do coach as well, that you do not need to have the most skillful players in the world to win any trophy. You just need to have players who can play into a system and play it well. Giroud won the World Cup 4 years ago, and I think he didn't score. I think he scored like 1 goal in the entire tournament.
one goal. Yeah,
Like probably 1 goal in the, or didn't probably just a shot on target in the entire tournament, but they won. So you do not, as long as he's doing what the team requires of him to do. Everybody know that Giroud is strong in the air. He's a very good header off the ball. That goal that he scored against England, if he does nothing else for 90 minutes and he scores that goal, the coaches can take that.
yeah,
You don't need to do anything. And in the box, we're gonna square the ball, you head that ball in the goal. That's enough. You don't need to take the ball and dribble past 10 players, because guess what? You get 0 points for dribbling past 10 players, like what Neymar likes to do. Takes the ball and tricks. You get absolutely 0 points for that. So records are records. Neymar is now Brazil's top scorer, and it took him some matches to get there. I mean, Neymar is a quality player, but I would not want to make the mistake of putting Neymar in the same category as a Pele. I'm sorry, he's not in that
okay.
same category. He's not in the same category as a Ronaldinho. He's not in the same category as a Rivaldo. He's not in the same category as a Gilberto Silva. So while he's very skillful, and each generation of Brazil has skillful players, I'm sorry for the people who love Neymar. No disrespect to you Brazilians out there. I do not think Neymar is in the category of those players that I named just now.
Okay. And well said, because I want to clearly hear with that one, because I didn't think so either. Because my one of my son, he was a Neymar fan, and you can't say nothing. I want his Messi fan, so you
Mhm.
see what I have to deal with over the years.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, so well said. So what's the score prediction for that game tomorrow?
Well, to be honest with you, I think I want France to win. That is what I would want. Nothing against Messi. I respect Messi because I think Messi has done an excellent job dragging Argentina back from the brink of elimination to the World Cup final. So I do not think that if Argentina wins the World Cup, I would not be mad. I would want to say, Messi, well done. This is a way to cap off your career. You retire and go off in the sunset that you are whenever they talk about the best ever, Messi's name will always be called. And for that reason, if he wins the World Cup tomorrow, I will not be mad at it. However, because of the composition of the French team, because the French team is made up of a lot of Africans, and I identify myself as African myself, for that reason, I would love if the French team takes it. But if Messi himself should have a good game or if his team should win, I would not be angry. So my prediction is that I think it's going to be a tight game. I think Messi, if Argentina is to win, Messi would have to have a brilliant game. He would have to have a blinder. And can he have a blinder against the French team? Those young, eager, hard tackling French players. I think it's going to be a task for him to have a quality game against them because that team is really hard running and hard tackling. So for that reason, I'm going to put down that the French win 1-0. Single
You think
goal,
it will be a 1-0 score?
1-0 score. I think they can shut out Argentina because once the French team manages to neutralize Messi, I think that's pretty much it because I do not see um, where the other threat would come from outside of Messi. Yes, there are some young players. Laturo Martinez is a good player. Di Maria is a good player, but he has not been starting lately. So there's a lot of young talent on Argentina. Can any of them take up the mantle and drive them onto a win tomorrow? I'm not so sure. But I think the French team, they have a lot more experience. I think the French team they have a better attack. No disrespect to Messi, but Messi himself is one player. I think Mbappe, Griezmann, and Giroud, that top three together, they are better than the top three of Argentina. Even though Messi is the best player of all, but I think as a group, I think the attack of France is much more organized, much more structured, and much more dynamic than the players that Argentina have. And for that reason, I think the French should be able to capitalize on chances if they should create them. And I do not think the defense of Argentina is that spectacular either. I think they're susceptible to good attacks. And once the French put a good attack together, they can get past the Argentine backline. So I think the French team will score. But I'm not so sure if the Argentina team can score if Messi is neutralized. So there you go.
Um, yeah, I heard you loud and clear. I'm rooting for France too, of the same descent. But this is the first time I ever see an Argentina team going to a tournament where they don't really depend on Messi. So that kind of make it a little bit tricky
Well,
for me.
I think they're depending on Messi. To be honest with you, Messi has not been scoring, but Messi has been assisting. Most of the goals that Argentina has had, Messi is integrally involved. You can count very few goals in this tournament that Messi doesn't have a hand in that Argentina has scored. Very few. Most of the goals that Argentina has scored, Messi has had that match against Mexico when they were facing elimination. Messi's brilliance brought them from the brink of elimination against Mexico. They went through and the game against that round of 16 game. It was Messi's brilliance again that caused them to progress. The quarterfinal again, Messi's brilliance caused them to progress. The semifinal again, Messi's brilliance. So Messi has been all around brilliant. Yes, he's not been scoring as much, but he's quietly scored much more than we may have thought that he would have scored. Messi is what? Is he second top scorer in the World Cup at this point in time?
Both of them tie on 5 goal apiece.
There
Him
you
and
go. Look
Kylian
at that.
Mbappe.
5 goals. So you cannot say somebody that has scored 5 goals in a World Cup that has not having an impact. He's definitely having an impact. Bear in mind that the top scorer in about 4 of the last 5 World Cups scored 6 goals. The top scorer. So Messi is just right there on 5 goals. So Messi has been integrally involved in the French in the Argentine attack. And should you neutralize him, I think you do a good chance. You stand a good chance of beating Argentina.
Yeah. For my correction for me. When I mean that he's not they're not dependent on him. I mean like back in the last 2 or 3 tournaments, if Messi don't score, even when he create the chances, Argentina don't score. When he got Higuain, remember they used to miss a
Oh
whole
my
bunch of
God.
sitter. So I mean it
Yeah,
in
man.
that way. But now we got players that if he don't score and he's his assisting, they put in the chances away. So that's why I'm saying
Yes,
that depending on remember the last couple of tournaments, if Messi don't score, Argentina don't score.
exactly. And as
So
what Tash
my
said,
correction, my bad.
as what Tash says in the comments, that every penalty is Messi take it. So he's one that they depend on.
Yeah.
So if he should be forced to leave the game or be neutralized, I'm not seeing how Argentina gets over that hump without him. But
Without
that's
him.
why the game is played on the pitch and not on paper, and not played on YouTube on GFC Gavan. That's not where the game is played. The game is going to be
Yeah.
played inside the stadium in Qatar, and we're all going to be glued to our television sets watching it.
Yeah, because I have to cook from probably from tonight.
Yes. Well, I have a Masters League team.
Oh, you play Master League this evening?
Big up to the fellas at Real Mona. Big up. We have a Masters League match tomorrow, and so we're gonna watch the match and then we play that, and then we watch the final and then we play our match. So hopefully, um,
I know you have to go, Mr. Pitt. Now we're gonna close off at the 30-minute mark, so we got 2 more minutes. So anything else you want to break down about this World Cup?
perfect. Yes, as what there's a comment in the comment section saying that Messi blesses his scorers, and yes, he does. Yes, he does. That guy. I mean, how can anybody not like Messi? This guy is absolutely awesome.
And not to touch on Cristiano Ronaldo,
Whether you
but
like
I see
whether you
something
like
different.
Argentina or not. Yeah.
I see something different where I think why a lot of people recently started root towards Messi and not Ronaldo. I see that Messi is a team player. He's not a self player. I realized that by watching him and
Yes.
watching Cristiano Ronaldo, see how he be leaving the pitch even when they lose. I see Messi still stay out there, still talking to his teammate, and I see they try to
Hmm.
give him the man of the match, and he take it and he said it wasn't for him. He didn't deserve it. It was Alvarez. So stuff like those, I see the bond that he built in.
I'm gonna Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
ask you a quick question, Garvan, along with the persons in the comment sections watching on YouTube. I'm gonna name 4 captains, right? And I want you to rank them in order from one being the best to fourth being the worst, in order of leadership. I'm gonna throw them out there. I'm gonna say Luka Modric of Croatia. Okay. I'm I'm gonna throw Neymar of Brazil. Okay. I'm gonna throw Lionel Messi of Argentina, right? And I'm gonna throw into that same mix. I'm gonna throw who should I throw in that mix now? I'm gonna throw who should I throw in that mix to make it interesting? um, Argentina, Messi, Argentina, Neymar, Brazil, Luka Modric from
Croatia.
Croatia, and in terms of I'm going to let me throw the French team in there with Hugo Lloris. In terms of leadership, who's the best leader and who's the worst leader? Go.
For
Who do you think?
me, number one leader for this tournament that I see so far, it's I'm gonna say I'm not biased, Messi, Luka Modric, and then Lloris. Neymar finished last.
Exactly. For all the skill that Neymar has in the team, I have never seen Neymar put the Brazil team on his back and drag them from the brink of elimination or drag them from drag them to victory. Neymar is there when things are going good, when things are nice. He puts on his tricks and he's entertaining. But when things get hard, I've never seen Neymar with any team at all, not with Barcelona, not with PSG, not with Brazil. I've never seen Neymar turn around a team. You can say, listen, if it was not for Neymar, they would have lost. We've seen Messi do that a million times with Barcelona. Bring them back from the
The
brink of
notorious stats
elimination.
don't agree. The notorious stats Croatia.
No man, no man. But Croatia number one with Modric, nobody can argue with that. If you take Modric off the Croatia team, they're an ordinary team. You can tell that Modric is a leader. The way he leads the team, the way he controls the team, the way he controls the tempo, the way he controls his players' temperament, because he doesn't allow them to get flustered, no matter what. And that's a sign of a good leader. And I think Modric has to be held up as a good leader, despite how old he is. He's playing against Lionel Messi, against Neymar in that match, Croatia against Brazil, and you could tell. I mean, this old man bossed the game. People were saying that Croatia was out Brazil. You know why? Because of the influence of the little magician, Luka Modric. And in terms of the French team, you can tell Hugo Lloris leads his team as well. You can tell how Messi leads Argentina. And these players have all had to bring their team together when they're facing adversity. I've never seen Neymar, correct me if I'm wrong, I've never seen Neymar show leadership in a time of adversity for Brazil. He's only there for the tricks and flicks when things are going good. When things are not going good, he disappears. So I cannot rate him in the same breath like a Ronaldinho or a Pele. He's not in that category, I'm sorry. He's not there. And that's why Brazil are in Brazil and Messi is going to play the final tomorrow.
Yeah. You want to answer that question? The notorious Tash put in. What do you think about that one?
Well, Tash is commenting in the comments. She said that Croatia deserved the trophy, to be honest. Them don't give up, no matter what the match, they fight to the end. Exactly. But whenever Brazil gets into some form of adversity, they just fade away. It seems like they have no fight. Is that like they're going to blow you off and give you 6-love? Or you're going to beat them 1-0? They don't have the fight to grind out a result. And that's a problem with Brazil. They are the best players in the world, individual in terms of skill. But in terms of the temperament, to just grind out results, because not all games you're going to have to play your pretty beautiful game. You will not have a beautiful game all the time. Sometimes you have to grind out results, and Brazil doesn't do that. And to me, I see that as a form of a lack of leadership.
Yeah, right, exactly right. 100% correct right there. That's why you see I always have to come for you, Mr. Pitnight, because having this conversation with you, you know, it's always worth every single penny, because you always bring it and you always being honest with it. And I really appreciate you come on and share this 30 minutes with me. I just want to say thanks, and you know, we catch you probably. You say you got a Master League probably sometime in the week coming. We'll probably give away one of the jersey to see which team win. After the final, we'll see which team win, and then we will do a show and then we can give away that France jersey.
And we can do a recap of the World Cup itself.
Yeah.
And also we can look ahead to the resumption of the leagues in Europe. The English Premier League, the Bundesliga, all these leagues are going to resume the following weekend. So we can do a show next week when we talk about that. But
And
that's for
answer
then.
the phone, because I need to call you to tell you something that I'm gonna.
Sure,
So I'm gonna call you right after the end of the stream.
sure.
So true, Neymar is all self.
All self.
He's just like Cristiano Ronaldo.
Not
So
out.
thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
Hope you guys like this one. Me and Mr. Pit Night gonna plan some big things for the new year, guys. I hope you guys like it. So peace and one love. All right, out.